You are now listening to the HBCU Wall Street podcast.
Good morning, everyone. We have the amazing father, the entrepreneur, the mogul, the Aggie with us today, Mr. Fred Whit. How are you, Fred?
Woo!
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride. What's going on, Rashad, man? Appreciate you guys having me on the podcast, man. I'm super excited. I appreciate you guys reaching out to me, and I'm looking forward to, having our conversations today and just, talking about life, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So tell the people a little bit about you. I just put a couple of words out there, but tell the people who Fred is.
My name is Fred. I'm a Libra. I like long walks on the beach. Oh, my bad. I thought, it was a dating app. My bad.
Gotcha.
Now, what's going on, everybody? My name is Fred Whitaker. I'm a graduate from North Carolina A&T, class of 2004. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a dad. I like to think outside of the box. I love giving back to the community. I love building with my friends. I'm a talent manager. I am a producer. I'm just a Black man enjoying life, man. We all have these dreams that we want to do things, and I'm the type of person that I like to see my dreams come true. So I'm a hard worker, and I don't mind getting my hands dirty, and I love working on things or building things up from a grassroots level, and then just seeing it develop and grow from there. But other than that, man, I just be enjoying life, man. I'm so blessed and so thankful. I rarely have complaints. Like, I'm just like, hey, things can always be worse. I am living that little Black boy dream of when you was 9 or 10 years old and you wanted to take over the world. And it's like, now I am the age that I am. I'm not gonna tell my age because I'm kind of old, but I am literally taking over the world in my own way.
Absolutely, man. That's great, man. It's amazing to hear, man, and just to see, what you've done and what you've been able to accomplish. Listen, we're gonna start off with something called this or that. I'm just gonna ask you a few short questions, and you tell me, one choice or the other. Just a few 5 questions. So, pizza or seafood?
At HBCU Wall Street, we're always looking for new ways to help each and every one of you reach your financial goals. With that in mind, we want to introduce you to Kinley. Kinley is a financial services company on a mission to level the playing field and help Black America build generational wealth. Kinley is a financial services company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank, member FDIC. By downloading the app and applying for a Kinley deposit account, you can get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit, enjoy no hidden monthly fees, including no minimum balances and no overdraft fees. Plus, you'll have overdraft protection up to $100 and so much more. Visit www.hbcwallstreet.com to download the app today.
That's a trick question. Am I eating it or me and my daughter's eating it?
That's important.
See, that's important. See, I'm also like, I strategically think real quick. You got to quickly your feet. But you know what? I'm going to go with seafood. I'm going to say seafood, man.
Gotcha.
It's crazy. I love going to Hooters to get the crab legs.
Gotcha. Hey, do what you do. So let me ask you this one. When it comes to investing, would you say commercial real estate or residential?
I'm going to say commercial.
Gotcha. Okay. So having fun, would you say going out or staying in on a Saturday night?
Me personally, the way I made my name, definitely going to say going out. The club, the golf course.
Gotcha. So, couple more. Cash or credit?
Cash.
Gotcha. And the last one, would you say the Hollywood scene or the university scene?
University as in like college, school?
Yes.
Oh, university all day, every day. University. I'll be at the spot. Listen, I'm the
I hear you. I hear you. Well, great man. So you've accomplished a lot. You're in Aggie land. Very proud of you. If you could, let's start let's do this a little different. So from where you are now, a lot of people say, well, tell us, how you started and, as a kid. We want to go backwards. So where you are now, how did you get to where you are in life?
I got to where I'm at in life by just being consistent, hard work, building relationships. Relationships is everything to me. And, I'm the type of person that I reach out to people and ask, how can I help? And by me helping, it's always afforded me or granted me the opportunities to be in certain situations, to build those relationships and nurture those relationships, to open up many doors. I say to people all the time, I personally always try to be an asset. I never try to be a burden. So whether it's the small things that, somebody needs help with, me helping take that off their plate gives them the time to focus on something else. And then it's also for me gaining knowledge and gaining experience and building those relationships with those people. So that's how I got to where I am today. Just being a consistent person and just willing to do the work. Like, some people just do stuff for the attention or for the title or for the credit. I don't care about none of that stuff. I just like doing the work, man. I like staying busy.
Absolutely, man. That's huge. Like, a lot of people are like, well, how do I get to the top? What do I do? I want to be a mogul. But a lot of times it starts off serving. And, it may not be the best example. One of my favorite examples, though, I tell everybody, listen, Fred Lucas was Bumpy Johnson's driver for a long time. Like, he served for a long time before he became the man. And that's the story of so many people.
Yeah, before you can get on the top, you got to know all of the ins and outs from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, how are you going to tell somebody else how to do something if you haven't done it yourself? So, for me, when you always figure out like what's your purpose in life and trying to figure out what do you want to do in life, I finally found my purpose, and my purpose is to serve. I like to serve. I like to help. I like to extend my hand and say, okay, this person has a problem. How can I help them with their problem? And then when the problem is solved or fixed, it's like, oh shit, I did that. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And then they know, when they have other opportunities or other things, let me call Fred because I know Fred can come through for me. I know Fred can help out, and then just go from there. So you have to start. I personally like you have to start at the bottom, because then it also makes you appreciate, when you're that mogul at the top, because you literally laid brick by brick by brick to build something up. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like something that happened overnight, because I do feel like when people get things overnight, they don't appreciate it as much as that long journey of laying down a brick by brick by brick by brick to build that wall.
Absolutely, man. I really feel that most bosses know how to do everything in their organization. They don't have to do it anymore, but they know how to do it. So they know how to structure it. They know how to grow it. They understand that part of it. So that's huge, man. Very insightful. Let me ask you this. So everybody right now is trying to be a boss. Everybody wants to get to the money. Everybody wants to, be successful and have the cash. How did you initially learn about finances? Like, what was your intro to finances?
My intro to finances, was one of those things where I made a lot of mistakes. It was one of those things where when I got into the business that I got into the talent management, we started receiving, payments and large checks. And what I had to learn the hard way was, in the entertainment business, when they pay you in full, but it's up to you to pay your taxes. It's up to you to set a certain amount aside. It's up to you to, take care of the accountant, take care of your lawyer. Like, it's solely up to you. And if you aren't, very immersed into your world and know who gets what and know what tax incentives you can get for this and that, you can really get jammed up in this business. And I think a lot of people take that for granted, because sometimes people just see, oh, you got $1 million check, but little do they know that it says $1 million, but then by the time you got to pay Uncle Sam there, what is it? They're 30 to 35%. By the time you got to pay your lawyer, by the time you got to pay your manager, by the time you got to pay all these people, you're not getting that $1 million. And sometimes some people will get $1 million deal, but then that also includes a travel buyout. So that includes like booking flights, hotels, like whatever, studio time, like whatever is included in that project. So, I didn't know that much about finances when I was in college, but then once I got into the entertainment business and started negotiating deals and learning about budgets and things like that, that's when I had like a very, very hands-on crash course.
Man, that's huge. That's huge because that's huge because we see so many people, especially in the entertainment industry, that, are on top and then they go broke a few years after, they're no longer at their top spot. And I think that's a tragedy, but even specifically for our community. So let's talk about the Black community. And what do you feel like is missing in the Black community as far as us collectively being able to be more successful than we are?
I feel like what's missing in the Black community is patience, man. I feel like, when you go and support those Black-owned businesses, we are so quick to judge them because their services isn't as fast, or, certain things don't happen the way you want it to happen, and you get impatient and you don't go back and support them, and then they go out of business. I think that in order for us to keep the money in our community, we all have to give back and invest in that community. Go to the Black-owned grocery stores, bank with the Black-owned banks. Like, that's the only way that we will be able to grow our community, because honestly, it seems like it's out of reach, but it's really not. But that's how all of the other communities started. They just kept the money in the community by giving back and, and supporting. And it's like a cycle effect. It's like you get your paycheck, you go to the local Black-owned grocery store. The local Black-owned grocery store goes to the local Black farmers. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like a cycle, and it keeps going, But, and I'm not shooting any jabs at anybody, but I do feel like when it comes to supporting our own, we don't have as much patience as we do if it was a big conglomerate, because then we would give them a pass and like, oh, well, they're such and such. But when it comes to a Black-owned business, we tend to be like, damn, I order something from you and it takes 7 to 10 days. If it was on Amazon, it'd be Amazon Prime and it'd be here in 3 days. You see what I'm saying? So I just like, the Black community, if we can work on our patience when it comes to supporting each other, it'll help keep the dollars in our community.
Absolutely, man. I know you said you didn't want to take any jabs, but I'll take them because that infuriates me with us not having patience with our own, man. It's like, I have to remind people, like, listen, a lot of these businesses have hundreds of years of knowledge passed down and head starts. Like, you go to a Black-owned business, oh, it took too long. Why the price is so high? And meanwhile, I've heard, not no knock on them, but I've heard this, famous chicken spot. I've heard people say, listen, if they make my order wrong, then that's just what I was supposed to have. Like, why don't we have the same mentality with us, man? That burns me up, but I'm so glad that you have that mentality.
Yeah, it's like that, it's like that big brother, little brother syndrome. It's like when you're the big brother and your little brother's trying to do something, but you're not going to give them as much credit. Like, yeah, whatever. It's just my little, I'm going to keep brushing off. But then if the next person who isn't your little brother's doing it, you can be like, oh, yo, that's dope. I don't know why mentality is like that. I wish we could change our mentality. I wish we could keep more dollars in the Black community, because then, that's just another way for us to empower our children and the next generation as well too, because then when they see that their parents are thriving and their parents are entrepreneurs or whatever it is that they're doing, it will motivate the children or the other family members to do the same thing as well. So patience is big, man. Patience is, a lot of people don't have patience, but patience will get you really far in life.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I'm looking at the shirt you have on, that hoodie, man. And I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it.
Shout out to my guy Quadji, man. Listen, let's go, Quadji. I gotta listen. I'm supporting my guy Quadji. Look, Black community, Black-owned business. He makes his hoodies. Every time he has something, I say, Quadji, send it to me. Don't matter the cost. I'm going to support you, brother. Like, and me supporting him, other people support him. It empowers him to continue to make more products and more hoodies and do more things to help grow his business. And that's how we keep those dollars in our community.
Absolutely. Listen, this man he practices what he preaches. So, hey, listen, all my Aggies, you looking for some merch? Hey, you know where to go now. You know where to go. Absolutely. So staying on in that vein, with your experience with the illustrious North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, how did that shape you? What positive things that A&T give you to help make you who you are right now?
I mean, the biggest thing that A&T really did for me was they supported from day one in college when I first got into the entertainment business, so to say, when we was doing events as Team Dollar, when I was DJing at parties and doing things of that nature, A&T supported me. It wasn't like, oh, yo, you suck. And then, you know what I'm saying? When somebody say you suck, it deters you from, pursuing it, or deters you from doing it. But when it was like, nah, Fred, that was dope. Now, you're not that good at it, but here's a few pointers. But if you stay consistent, you will get to whatever it is you're trying to do. And yo, till this day, I make more money, or I'm presented with more opportunities from people that graduated from A&T than anywhere else in the world. It's one of those things where we keep it in the family, and we always trying to help each other out, and always trying to look out where there's certain people that, once they graduate from A&T, they go work at like Amazon, or they go work at these big Fortune 500 companies, and they'll reach out to me like, hey, Fred, we got this event activation coming up, they're trying to do it with such and such. Do you think you can help me? They don't have to call me. They can call WME, CAA, they can call whatever agency they want to call, but they call me. And it's like, I'll just be thankful for that, and really appreciate it, man. And, going to A&T was one of the greatest decisions I've ever made. It literally changed my life. I don't know where I would be at in life if I didn't make that decision to transfer to North Carolina A&T, man. Shout out to my best friend, Bebe, man. He put the battery in my back. Bebe told me pull up, and I said, all right, I'm going to come. And,
Good stuff.
Yeah. What happened.
Yo, good stuff. And again, man, I wanna just big up you, man, because what you're talking about, you actually live it. So we just, we had an event, HBCU Wall Street and myself, Aggies XL, doing GHO. And Fred, we reached out to Fred, and Fred was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll be on the panel. And so again, I appreciate you, man, because you practice what you preach. You really are there to serve. You really are there to give back and help your people. Speaking of Aggies XL, tell us, what type of experience did you have at that event?
I learned a lot of that event, man. I was on a panel with a lot of dope individuals that graduated from A&T, that are entrepreneurs in their own space, in their own world. And it was just, I thought it was very powerful and very impactful for me to hear other people's stories that was on a different journey, but was as similar as mine to reaching their destination. And it all started at A&T, and in a way, fellow Aggies supported them on their journeys. I just thought it was super dope. Like, Cedric and I have connected. We're talking about doing things together. Terrence McNeil and I do things together. It was just such great synergy in that room, and it was from an organic standpoint where people didn't want to leave. Like, we could have went longer and had we could have kept the conversations going for hours and hours, but it always feels good to be on panels or be in rooms like that to refuel your energy, or make you even more motivated. Because sometimes on this journey of life that we're all on, a lot of times we're in our own head, and sometimes when you're just talking and you're trying to figure things out, some people don't have that other person to bounce things off of, or at least have that conversation, to have a conversation with somebody to help motivate them. But being on that panel, I just felt so motivated, and I was like, well, damn, they doing so much dope shit. I need to step my shit up. And people looking at me like, oh, you're doing so much dope shit. They got to step their shit up. So it's one of those things where it's not competing against each other, but it's kind of like iron sharpens iron. And it's like, yo, if they're doing that, how can I take what they're doing and incorporate that in my world? And, even some of the conversations about when people was asking about hiring employees and things like that, they said certain things on that panel that I never thought about, like, oh, you know what? I never thought about it. That does make sense. So how can I apply that to my world? So that panel was very, very impactful. And to the next up and coming Aggies, entrepreneur Aggies, you guys should tap in with HBCU Wall Street now to make sure that you can be a part of it next year, even if it's from just having your company there. You know what I'm saying? You just never know what you can get out of being in a room full of other entrepreneurs, because you just never know what jewels you might pick up. You might not quote unquote, once again, it's not about the money, man. It's about the jewels. It's about the connections. It's about the relationship. You just never know who you might meet that, you know, one day, like, you get a phone call and they might need a food truck for such and such. And you're like, oh yeah, I did meet some Aggies that had a food truck. Let me see if I can get them to come out and be in front of my office building and da-da-da, and then just build from there, man. Just build from there. So it was very, very impactful. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And, you know, I probably, you know, won't be on the panel next year because I got to, you know, switch it up. But if there's any way I can help from trying to help find sponsorships or whatever it is, I'm down to do that because I think that's something dope. And instead of just coming back to GHO to party, let's come back to GHO to party and network. So then we all leave on Monday, sometimes Tuesday, you know, we have new relationships that we can build when we go back to our homes or our careers.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I appreciate it. And even the panel, man, I learned so much. Like listening to you and the other panelists, like it was like my radar was just going off, like, oh shoot, like, oh my God. It was just, and the energy, it makes you raise your game because you're in the room with some heavy hitters and everybody want to see everybody win. Like it's competition, but it's healthy competition. It's like, yo, I need to raise my stuff up. And it's amazing. Shout out to Carolina Chicken and Waffles. Like those,
Absolutely. And chicken and waffles was popping too. I'm not going to front. Those chicken and waffles was good.
It was. So one last question for you, man. I don't want to hold you too long, but have this question for you. You know, there's this famous question going around. If you had the opportunity to have dinner with Jay-Z or take $500,000, I want to phrase it in two parts. Now, first part is 10 years ago, what would you do? And now today, what would you do if it's any different?
10 years ago, I would probably opt out and say, yeah, I'll have the dinner with Jay-Z. This day and age, I would say I would have the dinner with Jay-Z because I just look at life like this. Money comes and goes. Knowledge doesn't. You see what I'm saying? Like money, we all blow money. Money comes and goes. But to gain knowledge from somebody who's a very successful businessman and use that knowledge to apply to whatever it is that I'm going through in life, I feel like can help me a lot further down the road than somebody giving me $500,000 and I don't know what to do with it. Because if I get $500,000, I don't know what to do with it. I'm just going to blow that shit. And then I'm going to look back and be like, damn, I didn't pay the IRS. Fuck. You see what I'm saying? But having a conversation with Jay might be like, hey, make sure you set up an LLC. Make sure you do an S Corp. Make sure you do this, and this, that way. So then when you do get the money, you know what to do. Like I said, man, money comes and goes. But when it comes to knowledge, like knowledge is everything, man. And then especially people that, you know, you see the success in their life and their careers is like, I know you made mistakes to get to where you are. I'm not on the same path as you, but I'd rather hear the mistakes that you made. So then when I am at that fork in the road and it's like, oh, I remember having this conversation with Jay and he said such and such, then I know what type of decision I need to make or apply to what it is that I have going on and then go from there. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when people call me now and be like, you know, can you give me advice and this and that? And the first thing I say is, hey, I can only give you advice off of the things that I experienced in life. It's up to you to take that advice and choose how you want to use it. But at the end of the day, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Just make that wheel fit the car that you're riding with the knowledge that you're receiving, and then just go from there.
Absolutely, man. Great knowledge, man. I love to hear, you know, my fellow brothers that are so well spoken, that are so educated, that are so understanding of what's going on in the world around them, man. Shouts out to you. Let me ask you this. Do you have anything going on right now that you want the world to know about? Like what's going on with Fred right now? What is he doing?
Right now, I just dropped I don't know when this is gonna air, but on December 12th, I'm dropping my third installment of my book series, what my daughter's called Come on a Journey with Me. This time we're going to do Come on a Journey with Us to Atlanta. And the book is a book about me, my daughters, and my dog Oreo. And we're just traveling to different cities, exploring the Black culture in these cities and just learning about these cities. And it's one of those things where for me, I wanted to empower my daughters to teach them how to set goals, and to accomplish those goals, we gotta put the work in. And then when it came to the writing of the book, I went to, instead of me hiring somebody, I just went to my baby sister. My baby sister is an aspiring writer. So I was like, if I'm a bet on anybody, I'm a bet on family. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, we didn't know what we was doing. The very first book we did between me, my sister, and my business partner and my line brother Uche, we didn't know what we was doing. We was like, all right, let's just figure this out. Let's get on Google. Let's get on YouTube University, and let's just figure it out. And now here we are on our third installment, which will be available December 12th. And, you know, we would love the support. And it's one of those things, man, I just want to empower Black fathers to travel with their kids, because when we do that, we help expand their minds and their eyes and open things up to the things that they don't see every day in the neighborhoods that, you know, you live in. And I always say to my girls, you know, there's a lot more to this world than the city we're living in. There's a big world out there, but in order for them to know that, they got to go out and see it or read about it. And, you know, a lot of people, financial situations are different, and you can always have your body in one place, but your mind can go anywhere. And so that's why we wanted to create the books to help inspire, you know, fathers, mothers as well, to travel with their kids. And you can get the books at www.comeonajourney.com. And, you know, we appreciate the support, and we should be doing a book signing tour real soon. I'm just trying to map all that out to make it make sense as well. But then other than that, the book is a priority for me because it's for my daughters. You know what I'm saying? It's showing them how to work for themselves. And there's nothing wrong with working in corporate America or any of those other things. But for me, I always say to them, we're not going to live in a box. We're going to live outside of the box. If you want to work in corporate, I'm cool with that as well, too. If you want to be an entrepreneur, I'm cool with that as well. But I'd rather you experience both and then make a decision from there to see which one you really enjoy, which one you have more passionate about. And then other than that, currently we're shooting with my business partner, Terrence J. We're currently shooting a movie right now that should be coming out sometime next year. So we're in the process of shooting that. And then what else am I doing? I'm also producing this TV show called HBCU 101 with my guy Jaleel on Aspire TV. We just got picked up for another season. I think we just finished season 4 or 5. What else am I doing? And other than I'm just enjoying life, man. Listen, we all got one life to live. When it's all said and done, and when they say Fred Whit's name or Frederick Whitaker's name, they're gonna be like, yo, that guy had a ball. That guy lived his best life. And that's what it's all about, man. We don't get a second chance. Ain't no do-overs. So guess what? While you here, go hard or go home, man. And you know, that's all I got. I think. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but you know, somebody will hear this and text me like, yo, you didn't say such and such, but my bad.
Hey, I understand, man. Listen, from one author to another, from one entrepreneur to another, I'm proud of you, man. Big ups to Fred. And if you all paid attention, the first thing I said when I introduced him was the father. And I think that's so important. Like, shout out to Black fathers. You're talking my language. You know, last year earlier this year, I took my daughter up to New York. She just wanted to go to New York, you know? Mm-hmm. And so it was so impactful. It was so important. And I have no idea the memories or the impact that would have on them. You have no idea the impact it's going to have with them till 20, 30 years down the line. So big ups to you, man. I appreciate you, man. Glad to have you. Great conversation, man. Again, y'all y'all see that shirt, 1891. Hey. That's what it is. That's what it is.
A&T, baby. Aggie Pride, baby. Geo University. Holland. Greatest homecoming on earth.
Right. That's what it is. The greatest. So we appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time, man. And we're signing off, man. Big ups to all those Aggies out there, all those fathers, all those entrepreneurs, all those authors, all those people just out there getting it. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys, man. Thank you guys for having me up here. I really enjoyed this.
Ambitious, audacious, creative, HBCU educated, fearless, original, unapologetic entrepreneur investor. That's a great shirt.
HBCUWallStreet.com.